So thou, O son of man, I have set thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore thou shalt hear the word of my mouth, and warn them from me.
Have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them.
Coming to you from an undisclosed location in Middle Tennessee and examining current events from a biblical perspective, this is Bible News Radio with your hosts, Randall and Stacy Harp.
Hi, everybody. I want to welcome you to tonight's episode of Bible News Radio. I am your sweet and lovable host, Stacy Lynn Harp. I am. Don't let anybody else tell you. Don't let them ever tell you I'm not who I say I am. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and I want to let you know that we are dual broadcasting. I know that we're a little bit late, but you guys have to understand we're trying to make sure that everything starts. And so, anyway, so thanks for coming in. I see some of you over on Periscope. There's Rob and Liz and Dorothy, and let's see, who else? Dottie. Well, that's Dorothy. Lorenzo. Hey, Lorenzo, you're here. Rob, David. And I know there's a couple people coming in here. Just God Rules Forever. Nice to see you. I'm going to go ahead and share this out myself. And then anybody watching over on Facebook Live, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the archive or live whenever you tune in. And those of you who watch on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, I want to say thank you for tuning into that too. So tonight what we're going to do is we have three main things we're going to do. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at a little devotional, because this is Bible News Radio. And then I'm going to play the interview that we did with Kim Fields earlier today, which one of my pillars of the community actually got to listen to live. And then after that, we're gonna talk about Bradley Manning. I know he likes to go by Chelsea Manning, but his name is actually Bradley. He's a boy, people, just so you know. Anyway, we're going to talk about him and his run for Senate, as well as some other news that I found where there are people who are, again, being persecuted for speaking out about homosexuality on Facebook. And so, yeah. Anyway, so I'm here on Facebook, and I'm going to talk about Bradley Manning on Facebook. So, hopefully that won't get me in trouble. But if it does, will I really be shocked, people? No. But I have to tell you, okay, here's one thing I have to tell you. I do have to tell you that there is a social media platform. It's called Gab, G-A-B. And I don't know how many of you guys have heard of this, but it's kind of like a public, no, it's not the right word. It's like an alternative to Twitter, which, as you know, suppresses Christian conservative free speech. They ban people like me from anybody seeing their content. But Gab is actually, it's relatively new. I think it comes out of England, and I forgot how you get to it. But if you go and you search Gab in your search engine and put in Gab social media, something like that, it'll come up. I think it's gab.I something or AE or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, I've heard of it on InfoWars, but haven't checked yet. Okay. Yeah, I actually have been hearing a lot about it from my friend Janet Mefford, who's a talk show host, and there are other people out there who have been using it. And there's actually quite a few people. I'm having a problem with my headset here. There we go. There are quite a few people, Christians and conservatives, who are on it using it. And I downloaded it today, and the interface looks a lot like Twitter. So I'm going to be over there, and, who knows? It is an app, actually. It's available on Android, but I don't think it's available on Apple yet. So you can actually do it from the actual browser. All right. So yesterday, I shared with you guys a very impacting devotion from the book that John Maxwell wrote called Think on These Things. And those of you who are on my email list, I sent you a link to this if you're interested in getting it. A lot of people really resonated with the devotion. Today I want to share with you another devotional that I read pretty frequently. And this is one that I've been reading for quite some time, actually. And this is called Streams in the Desert. And it's 365 thirst-quenching devotions, just so you know. This is actually a Bible that has the Streams in the Desert devotions in here. And part of what I want to do is I want to help you guys in your devotional. If you struggle or whatever and you want, to have a good devotional, this is a very deep, very, very good devotional. So today I want to share with you part of the devotion from today, because a lot of people are struggling with stuff, and it's all about perspective. And she writes today about rain, and I hope that this gives you a little bit different perspective about rain. Tamara, nice to see you too. And Jason, hey, nice to see you in there too. And Melanie and John, you're here too. Nice to see you guys. Thanks for coming in, guys. And 4 of you on Facebook, I don't know who you are unless you leave a comment, but thank you guys for coming too. So this is what the devotional, I just listened to this. It actually snowed here today in Tennessee, and I actually had an awesome day. I mean, I was watching my nice little cat. He was sitting on the bottom of the windowsill looking up, and I was like, what are you looking at? And I have a bird feeder stuck to my window. It's actually a window bird feeder. And I have seen so many birds today come into that thing. Okay, it's Kim. Hi, Kim. Kim's on Facebook. Anyway, I saw a cardinal, a male cardinal, which apparently is bright red, and then a female cardinal, which is darker, which I didn't even know they didn't come in just red. Somebody told me that the females are not as, nice looking as the guys are. And then there were some little finches, and there was some, I think they're wrens. Anyway, really pretty, awesome birds. And a lot of people are like, rah, it's snowing here. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, man, this is so cool. I love the snow. And not only that, but I get to see all the birds, which is totally cool. Anyway, so here is some of this devotion. I think you'll be blessed by it. It says here, poet stands by the window watching a summer shower. It is fierce downpour, beating and pounding the earth, but the poet in his mind's eye sees more than a rain shower falling. He sees a myriad of lovely flowers raining down, soon breaking forth from the freshly watered earth, and so he sings. It isn't raining rain to me, it's raining daffodils. In every dripping drop I see wildflowers upon the hills. A cloud of gray engulfs the day and overwhelms the town. It isn't raining rain to me, it's raining roses down. Perhaps you are undergoing some trial as God's child, and you are saying to him, "Oh God, it is raining very hard on me tonight, and this test seems beyond my power to endure. My trembling heart is grieved and is cowering at the intensity of my suffering. Surely the rains of affliction are beating down upon my soul." Dear friend, you are completely mistaken. God is not raining rain on you. He is raining blessings. If you will only believe your Father's word, you will realize that springing up beneath the pounding rain are spiritual flowers, and they are more beautiful and fragrant than those that ever grew before your stormless and suffering-free life. You can see the rain, but can you also see the flowers? You are suffering through these tests, but know that God sees sweet flowers of faith springing up in your life beneath these very trials. You try to escape the pain, yet God sees tender compassion for other sufferers finding birth in your soul. Your heart winces at the pain of heavy grief, but God sees the sorrow deepening and enriching your life. No, my friend, it is not raining afflictions on you. It's raining tenderness, love, compassion, patience, and 1,000 other flowers and fruits of the blessed Holy Spirit. And they are bringing to your life spiritual enrichment that all the prosperity and ease of this world could never produce in your innermost being. I have to tell you that I love that. Oh my gosh, I totally love this. I love it. 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 The reason I love it is because I often think to myself, and my headset here is distracting me, just so you know. I'm trying to hear in my headset. I gotta shorten it. Anyway, I often think to myself, am I focusing on my crisis, or am I focusing on Christ, right? And I don't know about you, but I'm kind of half and half. I I can get so obsessed over the stupidest things. Just ask Randall, he knows. And I can freak out literally at the dumbest things ever. And yet, God's like, really, Stace? Would you just look to me? I'm like, did you say something? Because I'm freaking out over here about this over here, you know? And so I have to tell you, there's a story in the Bible that I absolutely love. It's in Mark chapter 5, verses 25 to 34. It's one of my favorite stories because I can totally identify with this lady. And I just want to share it with you, and then we'll go ahead and we'll play our Kim Fields interview. This is what it says. It says here, a woman who had had a hemorrhage for 12 years and had endured much at the hands of many physicians and had spent all that she had and was not helped at all, but rather had grown worse. After hearing about Jesus, she came up in the crowd behind him and touched his cloak. For she thought, if I just touch his garments, I will get well. Immediately the flow of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of her affliction. Immediately, Jesus, perceiving in himself that the power proceeding from him had gone forth, turned around in the crowd and said, who touched my garments? And his disciples said to him, you see the crowd pressing in on you, and you say, who touched me? I could just picture that, by the way. Probably Judas and his snarkiness, probably saying something like that. And he looked around to see the woman who had done this, but the woman, fearing and trembling, aware of what had happened to her, came and fell down before him and told him the whole truth. And he said to her, daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your affliction. I think she is the perfect example. I don't know her name, but one of these days, Lord willing, I hope I get to meet her. That would be totally awesome when we're in heaven. Yay! Hey, and there's Bill and Mia and Kim all watching on Facebook. There you go, people. Anyway, so I think about this woman a lot because I had a lot of girl issues, let's just call it that. And it's so easy to focus on that physical crisis in your body and not focus on Christ. And yet I think this is such a perfect example. You know, she had for 12 years gone to doctors. And, doctors are God's gift to us. Let's not, lie about that. Most of us have gone to a doctor and have benefited from a doctor. But for 12 years, these doctors couldn't help her out. And she had heard about Jesus, and then she pursued him and began to focus on him instead of her crisis. And as a result, her faith made her well. So I wanted to encourage you with that and just encourage you, next time you're kind of like going, this storm is bugging me. Look at what the storm is actually producing in your life. Just take a minute and think, okay, why am I going through this? What benefit will this produce in my life so that it ultimately can help somebody else? God will teach me something to teach somebody else. I don't think anything we ever go through is wasted. I think it can be wasted, and I think a lot of us do waste it, but I don't think it's given to us to waste. I think if you're bearing good fruit, then that fruit is going to multiply and it's not going to rot. You know what I mean? So I just want to encourage you in that. Which brings me to the interview I did today with Kim Fields. This was cool today. I don't have her live on right now because whenever I get a really high A-list guest like this, somebody who's like everybody knows who they are, usually what they do is they book 10-minute segments with me, and it's always taped usually. So I actually talked to her earlier this afternoon about 3 o'clock Central Time, so it was just a couple hours ago. And we talked about some of the new things that she's promoting. So those of you who don't know who Kim Fields is, she actually made her television debut in commercials. She was actually the little girl for the Mrs. Butterworth's SERP way back in the day. And then she was very popular on the TV show The Facts of Life. You take the good, you take the bad. I've had that song going on in my mind a lot today. You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both. There you have the facts of life. I'm so tempted. Anyway, she played Tootie. And if you remember the TV show, and I know my husband really doesn't because he didn't watch it, but a girl did. She was on roller skates a lot, let's just say. Anyway, and then in her adult life, she ended up doing numerous things, including the TV show Living Single. And recently she was on Dancing with the Stars, and her husband, Chris, have now launched into a new business venture. And so this is basically what we talked about. So, Randall, if you want to put up her picture or whatever it is you want to do, this is our interview from earlier today with Kim Fields. I should turn up the volume too.
Tuning in because today we have a very special guest who I absolutely love and adore. I've loved her work ever since I was a kid, and ever since actually she was a kid, you know, because we kind of grew up together. We're the same age and same generation, and there's been a lot of commonalities between her life and mine. And when I had the opportunity recently to talk to her, I couldn't not do it. So if you guys don't know who Kim Fields is, let me tell you. She has been on the TV show The Facts of Life, which is where I grew up with her, as well as Living Single. And she has done a number of other things, including a film called A Question of Faith. She has a brand new memoir called Blessed Life, and so much more stuff. Recently, she was even on Dancing with the Stars, and she's here with us for a few minutes today to kind of let us know a little about what's going on with her life and to share with us a little bit more about each of these projects that I just mentioned. So, Kim, thank you for being on our show. Thank you so much. We're glad that you are here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you're welcome. Okay, so the first thing I have to ask is, you know, everybody always has to ask, what was it like growing up on The Facts of Life? And even before that, doing the commercial that you did for, I think it was Mrs. Butterworth's, right?
Right. So I started out in commercials. And as you mentioned, my book, Blessed Life, I certainly talk about the early years in my career. And how I got started, you know, my mom and I were from New York. We are from Harlem. My mom had me at a very young age, and she and my dad divorced when I was very young. And so, you know, I certainly understood and could identify with the whole single-parent family, being raised by your village. My aunt and my uncle, my grandmother helped to raise me, and then, you know, subsequent extended family. And my mom is an actress. And so I loved, oh girl, when I tell you, I loved seeing my mom perform, but I also loved seeing her get ready for a show. She, one of my earliest memories is watching her perform with Hello Dolly, with Pearl Bailey in Hello Dolly on Broadway and on tour. And I loved visiting backstage and seeing everyone get ready to, you know, create this world and these characters. And that's always what stuck with me to this very day in terms of, you know, why I love doing what I do. And so growing up was certainly a lot of fun, quite honestly. I'm not, thank God, one of those tragic stories where I didn't have a childhood or I didn't have fun. I had a fantastic childhood, working, and at the same time, finding that balance, you know, playing with friends who were not on TV shows, being able to go to amusement parks and, you know, just enjoying being a kid. And my mother raised me. She never stopped parenting me. She realized she wasn't raising a child star. She was still raising a child.
That is very cool. That is very profound as well, too, because, you know, growing up in the entertainment industry, as you know, it doesn't always end up that way. So I think it's really cool that you realized that you had a blessed life, and I give kudos to your mom for raising you with the village, like you just said. I actually was also born in New York, so we even have that in common, which I didn't even know. But that,
hey,
cool.
Look at that. Where are you from?
I was born in Messina, which is upstate New York.
Oh, okay, nice. I bet it's real pretty up there.
Yeah, it's really, really pretty. But I grew up in California. I've actually, you know, I was in California most of my life. So, but New York is still where I was born. So, so one of the other things, though, that you're doing is that we have here, we just got notified that the Living Single is now actually streaming for the first time ever on Hulu, which, by the way, I'm a subscriber too. So tell me a little bit about that. How'd that come about?
I believe it's been something that's been in the works for quite some time, and I know the fans, over the last several years have been very vocal in asking, or short of demanding, to be able to find the show somewhere to have it streamed. And I tell you, man, the responses, I thought they were going to break social media. I honestly did, because there was such a strong outpouring of, excitement that it was finally happening. And so I'm so thrilled that the fans are so excited, to have every episode, all the seasons, the complete series available to them at their disposal, whenever they want.
Yeah, and that's great. You know what? I actually love the fact that you brought up social media, because when we were kids, social media didn't exist unless social media back then was like, hey, that phone that's tied to your wall with a cord?
Right.
So today, social media is a huge part. In fact, our show is on social media. It's on Facebook Live and on Periscope. And there's a brand new audience there that our, a generation older than us doesn't even really understand yet. So I think that that's very cool. I'm also very interested in your book, Blessed Life. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Because our audience is obviously a Christian audience, and what will people learn about you that, let's say, they hadn't heard about you in like regular media?
Sure. Well, the fact that how I came to Christ, as we say, and what my faith walk has been. I start off the book with an excerpt from a Langston Hughes poem, and it says, "Well, son, I'll tell you, life for me ain't been no crystal stairs." And I use that part of his poem because I feel like people feel that they know me and that everything has just always been sunshine and rainbows and hearts, and that I'm just this ball of love and light all day, every day, and that I've not been through anything. And that's simply not the case. And the things that I've been through, how my faith has helped me. And when I even put my faith on hold to say, this is now too much. I can't take this anymore. And I'm not leaving you, Lord. I'm just not working on us right now. And what that looked like, and then how I got out of that and came back into my walk again, and from the most unlikely source you would ever imagine. It wasn't a sermon on the Mount. It wasn't a Bible verse or anything like that. I was watching an interview with Liza Minnelli. and so being transparent, I'm a religion minor. I minored in religion at Pepperdine University. And that might be something else that they didn't know. But when I was in school, I'd read this wonderful book by Charles Swindoll called Improving Your Serve. And one of the things that was really a big takeaway for me was he said, and I'm paraphrasing because it's been so long since I've read this book, but he talked a great deal about transparency. And how, a really impactful servant has a really strong element of being transparent. And so that's what I wanted with this book. I didn't want to sugarcoat, really difficult and challenging moments in my life, from dealing with divorce, to miscarriages, heartache and heartbreak, severe disappointment, when the lows are really, really low. And at the same time, when you're on that mountaintop and how great it is, how to enjoy and appreciate that, as opposed to being on the mountaintop looking over at the next mountaintop.
Yeah.
And how to get over there. And so there's so many takeaways for me that I hope are takeaways for, people, especially people of faith, reading the book. But it's laced with so much either humor, so much pop culture memories, because, again, my career spans part of the 70s, then the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and beyond. And so people, you know, where they, no matter where you picked up Kim Fields on her journey or your journey, there's something, you know, that we've got in common.
Yeah. Well, that is awesome. And I'm all for transparency. My background is as a marriage and family therapist. And so I've seen a lot of that heartache in the Christian community. And I think it's really great as a witness that somebody like you with your influence, you know, you can share that. And it reminds me of a book written by Becky Pipper, Out of the Salt Shaker and Into the World, which
that's good.
Yeah, she actually shares in that book that that she was trying to witness to somebody and share her faith with them, but it wasn't until she talked about her brokenness with somebody that they were actually willing to come to faith. So I know our time is almost up here, so I just want to ask you one last question, and that has to do with your new venture that you're doing with your husband, Chris. What's that?
Yeah, so Christopher and I, for over a decade now, we've really been wanting to get into the coffee industry, and we've spent the time cultivating relationships and partnerships and, you know, finding and praying about the different people that we would be in business with. And so at this point, we've now been able to launch our signature blends on my website at kimfields.com. And so our first blend was called the Blessed Life Blend. And this way you can enjoy my book and coffee. And then last week, to celebrate the big Hulu announcement, and everyone was talking about binge watching, I said to our team, hey, listen, why don't we create a blend that we call the Binge Blend? And this way, everyone who's watching Living Single or whatever you may enjoy binge watching, you can enjoy a nice cup of coffee to go with that.
Awesome. That rocks. Congratulations on all of that and everything that you're doing. And thank you for
Thank you.
Totally appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thanks.
Yep. You're welcome.
Okay, so that was our interview with Kim Fields, and excuse me, as I said, it was a short one because that's generally what happens when they're doing a media tour fast, and my headset is still giving me problems. But I hope you enjoyed that because it was really cool to me, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really do, because there's so much more. And honestly, her book, Blessed Life, you can get it at Amazon. Excuse me, it's called My Surprising Journey of Joy, Tears, and Tales from Harlem to Hollywood. And it looks like it runs for about $15 or so, hardcover. And I guess there's an audiobook of it as well, and you can also get it on Kindle. And just to give you a little behind the scenes, you know, when I was pitched this interview, what's interesting is that I was literally pitched a 3-line paragraph. There were no lead questions or anything. I was like, okay, here's what Kim is doing. Can you hit these bullet points and talk to her and all of that, and, you know, and all that. So we did the best that we could, and I think it was pretty good. So how is Randall doing tonight? Randall, do you want to talk, or do you want me to talk for you?
I can.
Tommy wants to know.
Pastor I know.
Tommy.
So I was just about to type in a response, but excuse me, that was loud. Here am I. Haven't shaved in a few days. I did shower today, but hanging in there. Just feeling kind of still tired and a little more nausea today than yesterday. Mm-hmm. But hey, well, if this is the same thing that Stacy had, and probably is, because I don't make that much human contact. So
I'm getting blamed for this, people. Just acknowledge it right there, people. There he is. Hey, Annette.
Then
Annette, and who else just came in? Juanita. Hey, Juanita. Nice to see you on there.
Anyway, but assuming it's the same thing, probably spread through the pickleball people. Anyway, then I expect that I'll be over this probably by the end of the week for the most part.
Actually, I had it for 2 weeks, so.
I know, but I mean, after about a week had passed, you were on the upside of it, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I actually feel pretty good. So you guys who just heard the interview with Kim Fields, what did you think? Did you like it? I like instant feedback, just so you know. Okay, while you guys are putting in your responses to that, I also want to cover, well, we got to thank our sponsors. Our pickleball people, a lot of the pickleball people actually have strep throat, which thank God I didn't get. Some of my friends actually have this. Let me just put it this way. Almost everybody that I know has something. It was really interesting. You enjoyed it. Loved the interview. Good. Yeah, Melanie sat in on the interview. Very cool opportunity. Oh, he's got the crud too. I hope for speedy recovery. That's what Kim says on Facebook. And Kathy over there in England. Welcome, my friend. Nice to see you. Wait, no, you're not in England. You're in Australia. I haven't seen you in a while, but I know there is a Kathy in England somewhere. Hi, Kathy in England. You blame Stacy, Joel. Yeah, thanks. I don't know who I got it from. Yes, and thanks. Always liked her. I know, wasn't it cool? How many of you guys knew she had a minor in religion? I didn't know that. And she went to Pepperdine. I'm not surprised about going to Pepperdine, but I didn't know about her minor in religion. But then again, I don't watch TV, so I've never seen the show Living Single. Isn't that horrible? I just interviewed a star of a TV show, and I never saw their show. I have to actually go watch it now. And I didn't tell her, just so you know. That wouldn't have been nice. By the way, I've never watched your show. That wouldn't have... This is an interview not to do tip, just so you know. Don't ever interview somebody and go, oh, you know what? I'm so not familiar with your work. No, you guys haven't seen it either? Yeah, well, there you go. So you know what's funny, Randall, is that the comments on Facebook are actually showing up on Periscope. Mm-hmm. Too. Did you know that? That's so cool. That's good. You don't watch TV lots.
I'm putting them up there. I was just trying to think of a way.
Yeah, I don't actually.
I was just trying to think of a way of putting the Periscope comments up on Facebook, but there's not software to do that. And anyway,
right, Nicholas?
The wheels are turning, but.
Yeah, just for the record, I have no clue who you are. Did you notice that I actually said that at the beginning of the interview? There are probably some people who don't know who you are. Anyway, let me thank some of our sponsors here. You know, I am an affiliate for Spark Naturals Essential Oil, which, by the way, has helped me a lot during my cold. Anyway, if you are an essential oil user and you want to try Spark Naturals Essential Oil, I have a coupon code. It's John316. Which for all you super spiritual types, you know, that's easy to remember. You can save 10% when you put that coupon code in on any order, including sale items. Okay? Just so you know. And when you do, we'll get a little bit of a kickback because we're actually an affiliate with Spark Naturals. The other thing is, Ariel Ministries is our main sponsor. And those of you who actually watch Randall on Daily Disciples and or me sometimes when I do the Daily Disciples show.
I'm really behind.
Yeah, that's okay. Ariel Ministries is they have a coupon code and it's Bible News, which coincides with our show, Bible News. You save 20% on anything in the store. And this month we are giving away a free PDF Bible study over, and I have it pinned on my Twitter account. I actually should probably come and I'll put it in the show notes here on Facebook too. Now that I'm on Facebook, I'll do that as well. But if you guys haven't downloaded it, it's 33 things, a study of positional truth. And basically, this is a study that Dr. Fruchtenbaum did, basically outlining 33 things that happen to you when you become a Christian. And I don't know about you, but I think it's super cool, the things that you inherit when you become a believer. Like, number one, eternal life. You get that, just so you know. People who aren't Christians, they don't have eternal life, just so you know. Okay. Anyway, for the archive, you can go to bit.ly/Ariel33. On Spreaker, if you want to follow us on our podcast page, you can do that as well. And it's also on iTunes. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, feel free to do that too, because this is also over there as well. There's also Camp Shoshana, which Ariel has asked us to share about. If you, this summer, you want to go up to camp in the Adirondack Mountains in upstate New York, they hold a really in-depth course camp up there. You can go from 1 week to, I think, 5 weeks they actually have. And there's the brochure. If you're interested, let me know. Hopefully in about a week or so. Greg Harvey and I, we just talked today. My website will be up. And once my website is up, I'm going to be having this info over there on the website that will actually be easier for you to get to, because right now I have no place to actually send you to get it. But just so you know, it's there. And Model Balston will be our guest next month, I think, and Dr. Arnold Fruchtenbaum. They're two of the main teachers, and Roger Lieb and Richard Hill are all awesome Bible teachers, so check that out. Also, I want to say that if you are not a part of our Unstuck Club yet, I want to let you know, please join it, because right now it's free. Next month, starting in February, we're going to start charging for it. Don't be mad at me. We need to pay some bills, and it's going to be worth a couple bucks, trust me. But go over to Unstuck Club, bit.ly/Unstuck Club, join it. We had some people join last night, so I'm really thankful for that. And we will be including some new video in that this week, hopefully. And then lastly, but certainly not least, if you want to become a pillar of the community, like many of you are here already in the chat room, feel free to go ahead and set that up over at our PayPal or our website, BibleNewsRadio.com/give. Yeah, and just become a pillar of the community. I think you should charge for it. It's packed with good stuff. You're the third person. Actually, I've had like 5 people tell me I should charge for it. So hopefully when I charge for it, Liz, you'll join, right? So the price point will be really low. It'll be under $10, just so you know. Conflict at mind. Anyway, if you want to be a pillar, one of the benefits of being a pillar is you get inside of our Facebook group, you get behind the scenes stuff, and you get the joy of helping us pay our bills. In fact, Melanie, she was on the call today, and she listened to it live because I gave the info to our pillars, and if they were available, they could have logged in on the phone call and do that. So, and I will actually be posting the audio in our pillars community later too as well. So what's the bit.ly? Okay, the bit.ly for the Unstuck Club, it's bit.ly/Unstuck Club, and it's all caps. And don't forget also, $10 is too low, huh? Okay, well, you and me need to talk more, Melanie, because I asked you for your opinion earlier, and you said, I don't know. Now you're saying publicly that? Okay, anyway, I'll harass you later. Don't forget also, sign up for my email, you guys, every single day. I'm writing a little devotion in there. I have my upcoming interviews next week. I think it is next week. Wait, hold on. Next week, Owen Video is supposed to be interviewing me. Yeah, on Wednesday at 11 o'clock. Owen Video. Remember Mr. Owen Video? I had him on here. Now he's going to be interviewing me. And then Rick Costa next Saturday on the 27th is going to also be interviewing me on Jesus Did It TV. So those are 2 upcoming interviews that if you love me and you want to see more of me, seriously, you can't get enough now, right? But if you want to see more, then you know, and actually see me interviewed and put on the spot, then you'll want to tune in to Owen's interview with me at 11 o'clock and then Rick's at 3 next week. But that info is all in my newsletter. And then we have the devotional. I have a show recap and other stuff. But you can sign up at that for Bible News Radio on BibleNewsRadio.com. And hello, new listener, The Blood. If you want to share your first name, then I can call you that, because calling you The Blood is kind of weird to me. Yeah, it's just kind of weird. Okay. Hey, The Blood. Hey, Blood. Hey, brother. Okay, Kevin. Okay. Kevin, welcome to the show. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so the news. Let's talk about Bradley Manning, okay, people? Yeah, I said his name. Don't get mad at me. Well, actually, you can get mad at me if you feel like it, but most of you guys aren't going to get mad at me. Bradley Manning is a traitor. Okay, wait, I'm going to tell you who he is, okay, because my friend Robert Gagnon actually wrote this, and I don't know, Randall, if you want to put this up on the screen. And this might be deemed hate speech by some people, but let me explain who Robert Gagnon is, okay? Robert is a scholar when it comes to the homosexual issue biblically, as well as somebody who has lost his employment as a result of the homosexual agenda in a place where he served for a very long time. I'm talking like well over a decade. I mean, a couple decades probably. And anyway, on his Facebook page, he posted the following a couple of days ago. referring to Bradley, also known as Chelsea, to those who decide to be politically correct, I guess. I'm politically incorrect. I'm reality-based. Bradley Manning. Okay, so this is what Robert Gagnon wrote. He goes, this man, and I do mean man, is delusional on several levels. Transgender, a traitor who thinks he's a patriot, scandalously having his prison sentence commuted by Obama, a fierce proponent of sexual delusions, and now a candidate for the U.S. Senate. As a sick man, he needs psychological help and not further encouragement in his delusions. Yet, our delusional society caters to his delusions. Sadly, even some evangelicals argue that we should use the feminine pronoun for him. Naturally, he will make his bid as a Democrat, the party that suffers from the greater number of delusions. By the way, I didn't say this. Robert is saying this. I'm just reading what Robert said. Manning, then known as Bradley Manning, was arrested in 2010 and convicted in 2013 of leaking a trove of sensitive documents to WikiLeaks. Manning's sentence was controversially commuted by President Barack Obama in 2017 after Manning had served 7 years of a 35-year sentence. Since leaving prison, Manning has become known for controversial tweets, often accompanied with a series of emojis and the hashtag #WeGotThis. Last week, Manning tweeted out the message, basically F the police, on Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, along with the hashtag #Disarm the Police. Manning has also referred to immigration and customs enforcement as literally the new Gestapo. Apparently, he doesn't know the meaning of the word literally, but that is understandable since he does not understand that he is literally a man. And you thought I was like, could get in your face. There's Robert Gagnon totally getting in the face and basically saying what he says, and I'm sure not making some friends saying it, but I have to tell you that I concur wholeheartedly with him. And I think it's sad that this can happen in America, people. Seriously. I mean, yeah, why would you want police officers without guns? I mean, this is completely insane. And because I want to show you even more of the insanity, I want Randall to play Bradley Manning's video because he is... He has one, and then I would love to hear your reaction and see your reaction to it, because I actually thought it was very interesting. So go for it, Bareface.
All right. Sorry.
It's okay. We know you're
I'm
sick.
Chelsea Manning, and I approve this message.
We live in trying times. Times of fear. Of suppression. Of hate. We don't need more or better leaders. We need someone willing to fight. We need to stop asking them to give us our rights. They won't support us. They won't compromise. We need to stop expecting that our systems will somehow fix themselves. We need to actually take the reins of power from them. We need to challenge them at every level. We need to fix this. We don't need them anymore. We can do better. You're damn right we got this.
Okay, sorry for the language, but...
I'm Chelsea Manning.
Okay, so... I have a couple of thoughts about this. Number one, this is America, where our current, well, not our current, but our past administration, the president, pardoned this man. And you know what? Hey, I'm just going to tell you something. I could give a rip. Actually, I could give a rip about his being transgender. I don't care. That doesn't bug me. What bothers me is he's a traitor to America, he should have his butt in bars, behind bars for life. That's what ultimately bothers me. Look, in America, if you want to be transgender, gay, lesbian, whatever, go for it. Just whatever, okay? I don't really care. As long as you're not interfering with my religious freedom and my freedom of speech and my rights and trying to bully me into pretending that I actually approve of you and your choices, right? Okay? I don't care about any of that. But this is crazy. Because when Bradley Manning was behind bars legitimately for being a traitor to America, and in the past, traitors were killed, just so you know, he actually attempted suicide on numerous counts, okay? So here's a man that attempted suicide when he was behind bars because he is a traitor to our country and national security, just so you know. National security, people! You know, this man betrayed America. And yet now he wants to be a senator. Seriously? I mean, this is insane. Cuckoo. This is like completely insane. And and what's really even more insane is that there's going to be a lot of people who are going to support this bozo. Yeah, and I did call him a bozo, just so you know, because he is. He's a sad, sad piece of work. And he is not a woman. He is not a woman. Bradley Manning is not a woman. Seriously, have you seen the current traitor in the White House? Well, I saw the current traitor that was like in the White House the last 8 years. Donald Trump is a little bit better than the dude we had prior. But anyway, we're not talking about Obama and his ridiculous ways or Hillary Clinton and her evil ways. We're talking about this Democrat, Bradley Manning, who is masquerading as a woman, pretending to be a woman, and actually going to run for Senate. Okay? We got this. Really? You know, I mean, seriously, this guy is a traitor. And if he can't even identify who he is biologically, which is a man, all his DNA shows it, just so you know. Why would I want to trust him as a senator with any type of power? I mean, seriously, you know, just saying. Yeah, Obama, everybody. Yeah. So, I mean, it's completely insane. Put a 1 if you think this is insane. But this is America, people, just so you know. And I don't know if the people, where was this, New Hampshire? I don't know. I forgot where it was. Even if you have the surgery, you're not a woman. It's just surgery. That's right, Nicholas. It doesn't. Didn't you start this conversation with saying that you didn't care about the transgender? Well, no. What I said was I don't care that if he decides he wants to be transgender, he can do it. I don't give a rip. What bothers me, though, is that he... Well, government dollars at work, first of all. We're paying for it, which really kind of sucks. But how is this man who's pretending to be a woman even qualified to be a senator? He betrayed our country. You know what I mean? I mean, this is like...
Don't you think that puts him right up there with all the other politicians?
He needs to be locked up
people.
in a padded cell. What does RIP mean? Look it up in the dictionary.
You know, tax, you know.
Chelsea is a fake name.
Tax evaders, etc.
It might be a legal name, but it's still a fake name.
Anyway, but yeah, I'd like to see better in Washington, but really, I think, you know, compared to the most of the scoundrels in Congress, I mean, I think he kind of, you know, is just, you know, part and parcel with, anyway, that's my not so humble opinion.
You don't have a humble opinion?
Not right now, but back to you, Stace.
All right, so that's that story. Okay, I don't even want to talk about him anymore because it's so delusionally crazy. Let's talk about this last story I gave you, Randall, which was, let's see here. Yeah, here it is. I got to pull it up. I'm waiting for it to show up.
New Jersey teacher.
Yeah, listen to this, you guys. Tommy, pay attention to this one. You'll like this, Pastor Tommy. Okay, so this is on the Christian Post. Excuse me, and it says here, New Jersey gives Christian teacher 3-year suspension after Facebook post on homosexuality. All right, so listen to this, okay? It says here, a Christian teacher in New Jersey is now serving a 3-year suspension of her teaching certificates, all because she posted critical remarks about homosexuality on social media. Janie Vicky Knox, I hope I said her first name right, a 56-year-old longtime special educator and faculty advisor to the Bible Club at Union High School, has come to an agreement with the state's Department of Education on a proposal to have her 3-year teaching certificates revoked for a period of 3 years. Now, first of all, I just have to make a comment here about Bible clubs, okay? You want to cut back to me. Your sweet and lovable host, which is me, actually got saved in a public school like 35 years ago, something like that. I don't know. It's been so long ago. But La Sierra High School is where I went to high school. When I was 14 years old, I stepped foot. Yeah, I did. Into what was called the Fish Club, right? The Fish Club. They called it the Fish Club. I don't know why, but they did. I think it's because of the ictus and all that behind, anyway. But me and my friend Gail, who led me to Christ, we started going to the Bible Club. Mrs. Cardine was the advisor. And Steve and Rusty, they came in from Campus Crusade for Christ every Wednesday. And they taught a Bible study and all that. And that was my first year of being a Christian. My mom wouldn't let me go to church. So I am very especially attentive and love Bible clubs in public schools because I got saved in one. Your daughter was the president of her school. That's so cool. You know what I did, Tommy? I was elected as the public relations arm of our Bible club. Can you believe that? I laugh now looking back at that and I go, wow, you know what? I was doing public relations, aka evangelism, way back in high school. So anyway, so this Jane, maybe Janie, I don't know how to say her name, but anyway, so the fact that she was the faculty advisor, she's like my Mrs. Cardine, right? So I love this woman already. Anyway, it says here, Knox, who is an ordained minister, has held certificates for elementary school, nursery school, and handicap teaching since 1990, according to the Associated Press. Knox's troubles began in October 2011 when she took to Facebook to criticize a display at the high school honoring LGBT History Month. Good for her! According to NJ.com, Knox participated in a back and forth with other Facebook users in which she reportedly called homosexuality a perverted spirit that also breeds like cancer. Why parade your unnatural, immoral behaviors before the rest of us? Knox was quoted as writing on Facebook, and then in all caps, you guys can see it. I do not have to tolerate anything others wish to do. I do have to love and speak and do what is right. Knox was placed on administrative leave, and about 3 months afterwards, the Union Township Board of Education filed a 10-year case against her. Knox resigned from her position in 2012. According to NJ.com, Knox's agreement with the New Jersey Department of Education comes after she appealed the department's decision to revoke her certificates to the New Jersey Office of Administrative Law. After filing an appeal against the Department of Education's decision, Knox submitted the proposal to have her certificate suspended for only 3 years. The agreement between the New Jersey Department of Education and Knox was officially approved by the New Jersey Board of Examiners on December 8th. NJ.com reported on Sunday. Knox filed a lawsuit in 2013 against the Union Township Board of Education on grounds that her religious freedom rights and free speech were violated by the school board's actions against her in response to her Facebook posts. Knox was seeking reinstatement and back pay. Good for her. You know what? Christians need to stand up for themselves. A settlement was reached in the lawsuit in September, NJ.com notes. However, very few details about the settlement have been made publicly available. My guess is probably because she got what she wanted and the school had to pay. That's my guess. Anyway, Demetrios Stratus, an attorney representing Knox, said that the settlement includes a confidentiality agreement. Yes. I happen to know people who have confidentiality agreements for the similar issues, and usually it's because there's lots of money that was paid to them. Anyway, I don't know in this case, but would not surprise me. These Facebook posts that she made were done on her time, at her home, after school hours, on her home computer, and it was addressing a matter that could arguably be of big societal concerns, Stratus told NJ.com. Although LGBT activists called on the school board to take action against Knox for her Facebook post. Even representatives of the American Civil Liberties Union, aka ACLU, defended Knox's right to free speech. And that's actually the thing, the ACLU actually does sometimes, they actually do sometimes are actually fair in that way. Although we do not agree with the sentiments expressed on Ms. Knox's personal Facebook page, her comments are protected by the First Amendment. Ed Barrow-Cass, or something like that, said, the legal director of the ACLU of New Jersey in 2011. The ACLU believes that the response to offensive speech is not the restriction of speech, but more speech. There you go.
Amen. Knox
is not the only teacher in New Jersey who has faced backlash for posting what others have deemed to be anti-LGBT comments online. In 2015, Patricia Januzzi, a religion teacher at the Roman Catholic Immaculata High School in Somerville, New Jersey, was suspended by the school in March 2015 after she posted about her opposition to same-sex marriage and ranted about the LGBT agenda. However, Januzzi was later reinstated in April 2015. There you go, people. These women are heroes. Yes, and I should boldly give them what I now refer to, and I know Phil won't mind. Hold on, I'm trying to get back to my Facebook page so I can see any comments if there were any. They get the Phil Award. That's right, people. I am hereby stating that this bobblehead Phil Robertson doll is a Phil Award from now on. And these two women who stood up for biblical values and they didn't back down in the face of the LGBT bullies deserve the Phil Award. Because Phil rocks, just so you know. All right. And, the funny thing is, again, it goes back to a couple of things. Number one, it goes back to, are you going to stand up for Christ or not? Right? And you know what? Standing up for Christ isn't, it's not that hard, actually. Unless you're a big fat coward. If you're a coward, then it totally is. You're like, man, I don't want to stand up for Christ. But you know what? The Bible says very clearly, if you deny Christ before men, guess what? He's going to deny you before the Father. And I don't know about you, but when my number is up, I'm not really sure that I want Jesus going, I never knew her. Just so you know. Who is that Stacy Lynn Hart person? Nope, no clue who she is. Now, I want Jesus to say, hey, check this out. Here's our girl, Stacy Lynn, a.k.a. whatever it is God's secret name is for me. And I want the Lord to say, you know what? Well done, man. When you were on Facebook Live, you spoke the truth even though they banned you. And when you were on Periscope, you spoke the truth even though, they wouldn't give you silver star status, or whatever, I want God's approval over man. Right? Because if I didn't, I certainly wouldn't do the stuff I do. Trust me. Because trust me. I get hate mail. I get unfriended. I get attacked for stupid things. I get accused of stuff I don't even do. Because I actually read news. I remember, and I know our shows are technically over, but I remember years ago when I first started broadcasting, and it wasn't even actually doing a podcast yet. I had an email newsletter called E-Involved, and the little mascot was very cool. It was like this little eagle, and it had an American flag. It was a cartoon. It was super cute. And anyway, and I named my email list E-Involved. It stood for email activism, email involvedism, And all I did was take just news, whether it was a pro-life story or something about the homosexual lobby or whatever, and I would link it. I would just put a link in my little newsletter. I'd say, dear church family, or whoever it was, mostly church family, just want to let you know, keep you up to date on this, blah, blah, and do this. And I would get, and Randall can testify to this too, I would get responses back from people at my church telling me how evil I am, and to knock it off, and to stop it, and all this stuff. And I'm like, all I'm doing is giving you the news. It's kind of like that old adage, don't shoot the messenger, people. Just so you know. If you shoot me, then, just use the marshal.
And they had the option to unsubscribe.
I know, and they never didn't. But I have to also tell you, though, this is a really cool thing about email, and this is why you should sign up for my email, because, it would make me feel good, but also you'd be encouraged in it, is I actually got my writing gig for Voice of the Martyrs, which I wrote about Christian persecution for 8 years. I actually got that writing gig as a result of my email, because I had people, actually, caring about the persecuted church, because I would put in a prayer request. I know a lot about the persecuted church, especially having written about it for 8 years, almost every single day. So, all right, cool, spiritual lady. I don't know what your first name is, but nice to have you on board. Welcome to the Bible News Radio cult. Pam. I guess your name's Pam. I'm going to follow you back. Okay. All right. Homosexuality is a sin just like premarital sex, and we shouldn't be having parades for it. Well, but see, that's the issue right there. What is my email? Robert, if you go to BibleNewsRadio.com, there is an email sign up right there. Just click on that, and I'll add you to our list. And here's what I do in my email, okay? This is so hard because I spend like 2 hours a day putting this together. But here's the thing. If you sign up, basically you'll get a recap of this show with links, like all the stuff I talked about, I'm going to put in there. And then I'm writing a little bit of devotion on the bottom. I have upcoming guests listed in there. I got some upcoming interviews I'm doing. My goal this year, by the way, in case anybody wants to help me with it, I have so many goals. But one of my goals this year is to have 24 people interview me, which is, I just have to tell you, weird, because I'm usually the one interviewing. And I have 7 interviews lined up already. It's not even the end of January. So that's cool. They're not all booked, but with these next 2 coming up, that will be 3 in the can. So if you guys know anybody who would be interested in interviewing me, your sweet and lovable host, then let me know. I don't care if it's in print, on the phone, on a podcast, or in video. I don't care. I just want to be interviewed. Because I want to promote Bible News Radio, because that's why I'm here, people. This is my job, which is really super fun, just so you know. So if you, so anyway, if you, that's it right there. Okay, and I do have a couple minutes. Can we have like 5 more minutes?
Sure.
Randall's like, yeah, okay, all right. Okay, so you guys have any questions? I'd be happy to take any questions from anybody at the end of this show. If you happen to have any. By the way, thank you guys for tuning in on Facebook. It's super cool to see people on Facebook. We're using Joycaster, which is actually pushing our stream through to Facebook Live and Periscope. And so far, I think it's working pretty good. Yep, I am concerned Facebook will start watching our show and then ban us. When is Pastor Rick going to be on? Pastor Rick is going to be on, let's see. Let me pull up my calendar. It's actually in my email, just so you know. But I think he's going to be on the 30th, which is a Tuesday. January 30th, he'll be on. So that's when I'm having Rick on. Pastor Tommy, who's here in the chat room, is going to be on next Monday. And we're going to talk about abortion. That will be the anniversary of Roe versus Wade. Boo. Boo hiss. But that reminds me, my friend Janet Porter from Faith to Action, we had her on last Friday. If you guys have not assigned her heartbeat bill to, it's not, you don't have to sign it. If you want to send some free faxes to Congress through her website, f2a.org. In fact, I tell you what, I texted her yesterday. And I said, hey, Janet, some of my listeners, signed up for your fax for the heartbeat bill. They're supposed to be voting on it this week. Which is, this bill simply says that if you can hear the heartbeat of a baby, they cannot abort it legally. Okay? There's another pro-life so-called bill up for vote, too, and I forgot the name of it, but it's the National Center for the Right to Life or something like that. Anyway, Janet Porter calls them a fake pro-life group because that bill that they put up basically says, look, when you try to kill a baby in the womb, and you fail because you're horrible at your job because you suck. You weren't good enough to kill that baby, and that baby survives. Then you can't kill it. You can't do it. You can't kill it again. You can't try to kill it again. You'll have to let the baby live in the deformed state that you made it because you're a butthead and an evildoer. Anyway, so there's two pro-life bills that our Congress is supposed to be
considering.
Yeah, this week. Now, here's the other thing. This Friday happens to be the March for Life, okay? And that's going to be in Washington, D.C. area. Janet Porter is going to be down there. After the show that we did on Friday night with her, I actually got her to download Periscope and all that. And I told her, I said, you should totally broadcast on Periscope from the march. And I hope she does. I'm going to remind her. I'm going to say, hey, Janet, when you're down there marching for life, you know, it would be super cool if we could be celebrating the passage of this heartbeat bill. And the reason why is there's so many reasons. First of all, it would be the most pro-life bill ever passed in America since Roe v. Wade was instituted, number one. And number two, I think there's 170 signatures to it, okay, from our current Congress. So it's bipartisan, people. It's bipartisan. So it would be super cool. So you guys pray for this. But if you go to f2a.org, you can send 7 faxes for free, or if you want to send all the whole Congress, 400 and something, for $15, which is what I did, you can go ahead and do that. And Janet takes care of all that. Each fax you send represents at least 100 people. So don't think that like, oh, I'm just sending one measly little fax. No, that's like 100 people saying, hey, I want you to go ahead and do this. 476. That's right. So yeah, those of you who do that, thank you. Let me know. Tweet me, let me know so I can message her directly. I have her phone number. I'm texting her on her phone. In fact, I'll read you what she said to me yesterday after I messaged her. I actually said here, let's see. I said, hey, I wanted to tell you that we promoted your fax again tonight on our show, and a few of my listeners told me they signed up. And she wrote back, and she said, thanks so much. And I said, you're welcome. We have to save the babies. And then I put a little icon of a baby in there. And then she said, yes, we need to vote this week. And that's the thing, you guys. 45 years this month, the Supreme Court of the United States of America legalized the legal killing of babies. Okay, that sucks. I mean, that's horrible. And like I shared with Janet on my show, and I've shared this before, if I was born in 1973 or later, I wouldn't be here, people, because my mama told me that she would have killed me, just so you know. But, you know, of course, God has a sense of humor. He had me born before that. Only a few years, so I'll be 50 this year, much to many people's annoyance. Yeah, right. Sorry. I'm here, people, like it or not. I can't wait to turn 50. This is going to be so awesome. Anyway, so again, go to f2a.org. Right up there, it says the heartbeat bill. Click on that. You can send 7 faxes for free. That is free. Janet will pay for all that. And if you want to spend $15 like I did, you can go ahead and do that. And all of those things will get sent to that. And if we can get this passed before the March for Life on Friday, that would be awesome. And here's the other thing. On Friday, I have a guest, but Saturday or some other time, maybe sometime the following week, maybe I'll do a special broadcast. I don't know. Sometime during the day. What I'm going to tell you is you're not going to see the March for Life on regular TV. They're not going to cover it. They never do. C-SPAN covers it, but even C-SPAN in recent years has stopped covering a lot of it. C-SPAN, just so you know, when the partial birth abortion bill was being put up for debate years ago, C-SPAN even chickened out and wimped out because they didn't even want to show the pictures of the baby or actually talk about what a partial birth abortion is. Okay? Why? Because they don't want the facts out there. They don't want people to know that a partial birth abortion is when the baby is being born. It's already alive. It's born. And what they do is they take scissors and plunge it into your neck in order to get a hole in there. And they take a suction thing. They suck out the brains of the little baby, smash the skull. Okay? I mean, let's just say it what it is. It's murder. And, you know, Lila Rose and others, you know, from Live Action and stuff, they've gone into Planned Parenthood. They've done all these undercover stuff. And they've exposed this stuff. And, you know, it's amazing how the media has vilified pro-life people and made them out to be like, oh, they're evil or whatever. You know what? Being pro-life is not evil. You know, and the whole thing, and I'm just going to rant just for a minute, because this is the thing that got me into activism years ago. I didn't even know I was an activist until this issue came up, okay? What really gets me is how easily the culture, and even some people in the church, well, you're so, anti-choice, you're evil, and I've marched against the pro-life people. I mean, the pro-choicers that are yelling and screaming, keep your laws off my body. You know what? The laws have nothing to do with your body as a woman. First of all, if you have a boy inside you, it ain't your body. Second of all, even if it's a girl, it's not your body. It's a separate human being. And there's zero reason why abortion should be ever committed. I don't care. In the case of incest, rape, or anything, zero reason. Zero. Even the so-called health of the mother, very rarely does that ever have to happen. Okay? I'm just saying. And, you know what? For people to say that, that I'm evil or intolerant or hater or bigot or blah, 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 because I'm saying a baby should be born because God created it in its mother's womb and fearfully, wonderfully made it, according to Psalm 139. That's insane. Who does that? Instead, and here's the thing. Just think about this, okay? We live in a world today, Isaiah 5:20 says, good is called evil, and evil is called good. Bitter is sweet, and sweet is bitter. All right? Just look at how insane our world has got, okay? We call people like me and you, if you're pro-life, crazy and intolerant, blah, blah, because we want the baby to live. And I don't know about you, but I've never seen an ugly baby. They're all super duper cute. And I'm a woman who was barren. I couldn't have my own kids, so I will damn well fight for others who can. All right? Just so you know, and I did say damn, and don't be mad at me for it, because it makes me mad. Meanwhile, we have nutcases like Bradley Manning, who's pretending to be a girl, and he isn't, running for Senate, and he's a traitor to our country, and the media is calling him good. Really? Okay, just saying. It's completely insane. And, people who go, well, that's so Christian of you. You're such a crappy Christian because, you said all that stuff. You know what I say to you? You know what I say to you who go, that's so Christian of you because of your attitude and everything? You know what I'll say to you? Thank you for noticing Christ in me. Because you know what? Jesus chose life. There you go. You know what? Jesus died for my sin. He came to give us life and that more abundantly. He came to defeat the devil, whose job is to kill, steal, and destroy. So if you want to insult me for being a Christian, go for it. I don't care. That just means there's enough evidence to convict me of being one. And so my question then to you is there enough evidence in your life of being a Christian? I'm going to tell you something. I went to a Christian university when I earned my master's degree, okay? And there were times when I was shocked at how few of the Christians there spoke up about anything. And I actually went there during 9/11. Actually just started my program. Islam is not a religion of peace. Islam it's a satanic faith, okay? I have had numerous former Muslims on our show talking about the doctrines of death, of all this. I'm not saying all Muslims are evil or whatever, but I'm saying the doctrines are doctrines of devils and death, okay? And I remember after 9/11, it was the year after, our clinical psychology department had a memorial service. I don't know if they're still doing it now. I should ask my friend Jennifer because she still teaches there. But I remember I went into the break room there, and the director of the program, as well as some of my other professors and a couple students were in there, and they said, we would like to talk to you and let you share your heart about 9/11 and the anniversary of this and blah, 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 blah. Where were you? What do you want to share? Because therapist process, just so you know. And so people were talking, and I was sitting there. I'll never forget this. My heart just started beating. And the Lord was saying to me, just speak up, Stace. Speak up. And I'm like, God, I'm scared. My heart's beating. Man, my heart was going faster and everything. And I'm like, I don't want to say anything. Lord's like, say something. I'm like, okay, I really don't want to. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Okay, fine, I will. And my heart's like totally going super fast. And so I said, Jerry, one of the things I want to share is that when I think of today, when I remember 9/11, is I think of the contrast of the faith of both religions. And the contrast being that in Christianity, the faith that this school beholds, that Jesus came and he died for me in my spot. He died for my sins so that I could live eternally. And the contrast with Islam is that Allah requires his people to die for him and blow themselves up with not even legitimate validity or promise that they're ever going to get the paradise that they want. I mean, still, even after they do that, in their religion, they have to weigh it still, and it's a debate. So it's not even sure. Now, I'm sitting there, and I'm like going, okay, Lord, I'm not really sure. Am I done? And I said, so, hey, I just want to just share that if anybody here isn't a Christian, I want you to become a Christian and follow Jesus because he loves you. And not because, I hate Islam. I don't hate Islam. The Lord is appearing to those who are followers of Allah, especially during Ramadan. When I worked with Voice of the Martyrs, one of the most miraculous testimonies I ever heard was this man kept having all these visions of Jesus, and Jesus was quoting to him constantly all this stuff. And this happened for months. Jesus told this Muslim man, hey, go get some paper, write this stuff down. And this guy did. He went and wrote it down. And then the vision stopped. And the last vision that Jesus said to this Muslim guy was, go see your Christian friend. And so this Muslim guy said, okay, to the vision. He goes and he sees his friend, and this is a true story, by the way. It's been verified, okay? He goes to his Christian friend, and he says, hey, I've been seeking who Jesus is. I want to know who he is. Because in Islam, in the Quran, Jesus is mentioned, okay? So he goes to his friend who's a Christian. He says, I've been having these visions of Jesus. He told me to write this stuff down. I don't understand it. Can you help me understand? He told me to show it to you. So he shows him what he wrote down. The Christian friend looks at it. He looks at it. He starts reading it. It's the Gospel of John. Now, I don't know about you, but if Jesus is willing to quote the Gospel of John to a Muslim guy seeking him, and then say, hey, go to your Christian buddy and have him explain what this means to you, then the God I serve is alive and well and active on planet Earth, just so you know. And so there's no reason why we can't be bold, stand up and go with God because he loves us, which is our motto, by the way. And that means when it comes to talking about difficult issues in the culture like abortion and homosexuality and Islam, which are the three biggest ones, we shouldn't be ashamed of it. We have life, people. You know what I'm saying? God gave us life so that we could go out, we could share life. And you know what? I hate to say it, but none of us knows when our life is going to end. None of us. I always like to say there's like an expiration date on us, like on a carton of milk. There is one. We just don't know what it is. I mean, I've had friends die of heart attacks in a hospital while they went for a checkup. People get killed in various ways, which I don't like to talk about because I really don't like to talk about death. But the point is, if you're a Christian and Jesus saved you, go and tell somebody. Because he loves us, you guys. That's what he loves. He loves us, right? So let's go tell somebody. And then maybe you, next week, will win the Phil Award. I don't know about that part. You might have to apply. But anyway. Anyway, so that's my show. And I want to thank you guys for coming in. And I hope this encouraged you. Tomorrow night is Wednesday. And I'll be back with some more news, encouragement, hopefully. And everything. And so I just want to say thank you to my husband, Bearface, Randall Pandle Bear. It's not his real name. He's been sick all day. And so the fact that he's done this for us is awesome. I love him. He's my favorite. And anyway, also thank you to all you on Periscope who've been in here the most of the time. I appreciate all you guys. I love you guys. Those of you on Facebook, if you're still there, thank you for tuning in. And all you YouTube people, I know you listen. Thank you for being part of our community. Thank you for everything. But most importantly, let's thank God. And don't forget, pray for 18. That is our motto this year. Pray for 18 minutes a day, right? Just pray for 18 minutes. It will change your life. As I was telling the kids out of Awana the other night, my friend Vicky, she taught me this phrase: reduce it to the ridiculous, people. If you don't think you can pray for 18 minutes all at one time, because the kids were like, 18 minutes, that's a long time. Then break it down, couple minutes, an hour. Reduce it to the ridiculous, and you'll do fine. You'll be able to pray a couple minutes every hour, and you'll get it in, just so you know, okay? It'll be fine. And it's not a work, it's just a goal. So anyway, there you have it. Okay, so be bold, everybody. Stand up and go with God, because he loves you.